Hey, happy Sunday. Hopefully I can drop a lot of different videos. Since I'm out for break now, I actually have some time. Hopefully I have some time now, y'all, because my family, we are getting ready to road trip to Alabama, and then from Alabama to Georgia for Thanksgiving break. My school, along with all other high schools and middle schools and elementary schools here in Houston and Texas, we're out for about a good 9 days for the break. So yeah, that's what we're doing on break. So hopefully I'll have time to do more videos. Since I will be in the car the majority of time with family, I won't really have that much separate time. Really, I don't have that personal time to myself to really just record like I'm doing now. So we'll see. Maybe when I land in Georgia, I can use one of my aunt's rooms to record. But again, I'm still going to be surrounded with family, so we'll see what I can get fit in up in here. But yeah, so I'm just hopping on here today, and I want to talk about I feel like a lot of people are curious to see like why I don't have so many friends, right? Or if I have friends at all, right? And the truth of the matter is, I have acquaintances. Either you're an acquaintance or you're someone I consider a sister, a little sister to be exact. And but for the most part, I have acquaintances. Like I said, my true best friend was the one that passed away, and then I have another dear friend of mine who lives in Georgia. Unfortunately, she's going to be home in Mississippi with her husband's family and her family, because that's where they're originally from. So they won't be in Georgia per usual. Every year we always miss each other, because most of the time I'm in Georgia. If I'm not in Georgia for Thanksgiving, then I'm here at home in Houston with my our immediate family. But yeah, so I'm gonna miss her. And then I have another friend, same thing, or another acquaintance, same thing. They're also originally from Mississippi. Mostly everyone I know is from Mississippi, right? So they're all going back there to be home with their family for the holidays for this Thanksgiving while I'm in Georgia. So I'm going to miss her as well. So that's unfortunate. But I do have acquaintances, y'all. My only problem is that they're far away. Like everyone that I know, if you're new to my channel and you're not aware, I went to boarding school. So I'm from Houston, Texas, born and raised, but I went to boarding school from 9th grade through 12th grade, all the way in Tennessee. So it was me and my oldest brother. So it was me and my middle brother. My oldest brother went to a boarding school too, but he only went for a year and then came back and finished a public school here in Houston because he wasn't a fan of it. And me and my second oldest brother, we actually went to the same boarding school, which was a different one from my oldest brother. We went to a different boarding school, and we completed our tenure there, our high school tenure, out in Tennessee. And the remaining of our family, my mom, my dad, my oldest brother, they were all back here in Houston. So we were apart. So most of the people that I know are either from Tennessee or from my university that I graduated from, my alma mater, Mississippi State University. So so that's the main thing as to why I'm always solo dolo when it comes to being here in Houston by myself. I'm not really seen with many people. I'm not really seen with anyone at all. If I go out to a brunch or something, I'm by myself. If I go out to shop out and about, I'm by myself. If I go to the nail shop, I'm by myself if I'm not with my mom. So yeah, that explains the majority of why is she always by herself, because I feel like that's a lingering question in so many people's minds. Like, this girl never ever with anybody. And that's why, because I do have acquaintances and people that I know, but they're out of state. Like, none of them live here. So that's the thing. And as far as me like going out and networking, I'm very much an isolated person. The older I get, or some people may say the more mature I become, right? I've just learned I enjoy my own company. First and foremost, I enjoy my own company. I can be by myself. Honey, I just love my me time. Like, I trust me, for one. You can't trust everybody. So if I'm by myself, I don't have to worry about who I can trust, who I need to look over my shoulders for, who is like who is hiding their jealousy, right? Or who is really like in competition. I don't have to worry about things that are so minute and so trivial when I'm by myself. And I enjoy that. And I love that so much for me. So first and foremost, also, I have a relationship with Christ. And in that comes my wholeness, to be able to be by myself, to be able to coexist with myself, to be one with myself, one with oneself, right? So I am genuinely and perfectly and wholeheartedly okay being by myself and doing things by myself. Do I still get that feeling of like I feel a little embarrassed or just like noticed and more seen when I'm doing stuff by myself? Yeah, because it's just like it's so obvious when you're not with a group of people, like who you are, and you kind of stand out, right? So I'm like, it's still like a little iffy feeling that I have. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's just like this is who I am, and you see me, you see me. I'm here by myself. That's just how I roll. I roll solo dolo. So and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm still getting used to it, even though I've been doing it since 2019. At this point, I'm still very much so getting used to it, even over all this time period. But I love it. I enjoy it. I don't need the company of others to fulfill me. I don't need to be surrounded by so many people to feel important, to thrive, to feel like that I'm worth it or valued. I am that all on my own. And when I stand alone, I am that all by myself because I am a child of Christ. So I don't need others to fulfill me. At one point I thought I did because of social media. I would always see everybody with their friend girls and having Friendsgiving and girls night and Valentine's Day. It's what they call it when you have, it's just your girlfriends and y'all are single or whatever. And y'all go out to like dinner or y'all stay at home and have an in-home thing and dress like pajamas and stuff and turn up and get lit and have fun. I used to feel like I needed that to be complete. And a part of me, to be honest, in full transparency, of course, like a part of me still wants that. Like I desire that. But if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. And I just look at it as God continuously protecting me and shielding me from the things that I feel like I just have to have or that I need. He's protecting me from whatever people feel like they can come and enter into my space and completely disrupt the path that he has me on. I just look at it like that. Like if I don't ever obtain it, it just wasn't meant for me to obtain. And somewhere in there, God has just been protecting me from what lies ahead that I'm completely unaware of, right? So I just look at it like that, like I'm being protected, and it's just not my time right now. If it ever will be my time, that'll be cool if my time comes where I'm able to sit back and be like, hey, this is what I've always dreamed of, right? To have that friendship and that sisterhood with people that I can just like pop up at their house, not unannounced, but clearly there's been clear communication where it's like they're aware that I'm coming, but just like pop up and chill and have a Valentine's Day or a Friendsgiving night or whatever. And yeah, part of me is still just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I do wish I had that. Yeah, I will be honest, I do. But at the same time, do I need it? Always going back to, do I need it to complete me and who I am and whose I am? No. And to be honest, I had all of that. I had all of that when my best friend was here. And I think that's what makes me yearn for it, because I know what it feels like to have it. I've already had that experience of doing stuff like that, right? And so I know what it's like. I know it's a fun time. I know it's a good time. I know it's dope. I know it's lit. I know it's all of the things above that are great and fantastic and phenomenal. And I think that's what I miss the most, is just knowing that I had it and that it was taken away. So a part of me still yearns for it, but I don't need it. It's not something that's a necessity in my life. But yeah, so that's really why I'm solo. I do have acquaintances, y'all. I do have people that when they fly in, just like if y'all saw, I think a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram things that I did in September, right? And I linked up with one of my boarding school homegirls who's considered a little sister of mine. We are a year apart, and I consider her my little sister. That was my little ride or die in boarding school, right? So she came down from Detroit. They flew in from Detroit, her brother, and her sister-in-law. They flew in to Houston for the bachelorette party. So her brother and her sister-in-law were engaged, and they decided to have their combined or joint bachelor and bachelorette party here at a club. And that's the only way you can get me in a club. It has to be something important. And I almost said no to that, but I'm like, my sweet darling, she done came down here from Detroit. I haven't seen that girl since I graduated in 2008 from high school. So we had always made plans to like link up. I think even 2 years ago, we were all saying like how we were going to come together and link up in Tennessee, in Chattanooga, Tennessee specifically, to just reunite or whatever. Me, her, and it was like three other girls. Me, her, 3 or 4 other girls were supposed to link up, and it never happened because life be lifing, right? So when she came down here this year in September for the bachelor and bachelorette party and invited me, said I didn't have to worry about anything financially. They had me covered. They had 2 sections. Everything was going to be on deck. Like all I had to do was just show up, free entry. They had me a little wristband waiting, and everything of that nature. So we had a ball. It was such an amazing time. And everybody that was there, her brother, her sister-in-law, all of them were cops, like from Detroit. So like police officers from Detroit. So I felt super safe. I felt super comfortable. Everyone on the sister-in-law side, all of her people were very welcoming, inviting, and they made me feel like I was at home. I didn't feel uncomfortable, not one bit. Like, and I don't like, if you know me, I have this thing where I'm like, if you do not know me, do not call me Jazz. Like, if you do not know me, don't call me Jazz, because I feel like, I don't know, some people may feel like that's silly or juvenile or whatever the case may be, but I'm just like, you don't know me on that level, so don't call me Jazz. I don't know, I've just always been like that. But they were like, Jazz, and I felt no way about it. Like, I felt no way about it. And I think it's because they were her people already. So I already felt comfortable, even though I didn't really know them. I knew her, and I know that she wasn't going to put me in harm's way, and she wasn't going to have me around no bad energy, because she knows me. Like, she knows me. So I guess already that came a little bit of leniency with them in that group in particular. But I had an amazing time. I didn't care about them calling me Jazz. And they were just like, oh my gosh, y'all, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I know y'all probably be like, she went to a club. Honey, I was on an almost 2-year mark from club. And first, let's get that clear. I was almost hit that 2-year mark where I have not been to a single club. But I had to show up for my girl. I had to. And I can't help that that's where, and I said this on my previous video, I can't help that that's the place that they chose to have their bachelor and bachelorette party. Who am I to tell them, no, y'all can't have it there. Y'all need to change up everything for me. Somebody y'all don't even know. Change it, right? So that was out of my control. I had no say-so in that. So I went ahead and chalked it up. You know me. I prayed before I left the house. I prayed while I was in the car. I prayed while we was in the club. I prayed when I got back to my car. As I was walking to my car, Lord, let me even walk to my car and get to my car safely. And then please have your fence of protection around me as I'm on the road driving back home, and that I get there safely and into my domain safely, right? So I stayed prayed up. So I wasn't too worried about it. And the atmosphere was for it to be a club, the atmosphere was very calm. Like, there was like a whole shift. Like, it was very calm. Everybody was on their P's and Q's. Like, nobody was there for a bad time. Random guys were talking to me as I was walking, because they was like throwing money. Like, the club itself was throwing money in the air. It was nothing but ones. But they was throwing, I swear they probably threw about 500 ones. And like I say, when most people see me, they look at me and feel like I'm sedity and stuff. Baby, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. And I sure was picking up them ones. And that boy stopped me. He was like, I know. Why you picking up ones? I said, because I need them. And I picked them up. He was like, go ahead then, get your money. I'm like, and I sure was. And sure went and stopped at a drive-thru and got me some food. That money paid for my food. I ain't never too proud. I ain't never too good to pick some money up, okay? Like, I ain't never too good for nothing. So I'm just like, yeah, but I had a grand time. So I went ahead and chalked that one up for my girl. But yeah, that's the only way you can get me in somebody's club. Well, that's for sure. But it was a ball. So I went there and enjoyed myself there because they flew out. They flew out here. So I had to pull up and show love and congratulate the newly engaged, well, not newly engaged, but the soon to be. They're already married now. The wedding and everything has already happened back in Detroit. But I had to congratulate them and show love and support because that's my little sister's people. So it was fun. But yeah, I have people like that. They will fly in and let me know when they're in town, and I rock it out with them. I'll do a brunch and stuff. We'll have some little mimosas or take a few shots, y'all. And keep it moving till next time. Like, I love my people. I love whether you're an acquaintance or a little sister or whatever the case may be. There's no gray areas, and you're going to know that with me. Everybody who knows me knows that with me. So it's no gray areas. Either we rock or we don't. Either we gonna be hanging out when you come to town or we won't. Like, but yeah, so I do have people that do that, and they let me know when they're here, and I'll go out here. But it doesn't happen as often as I would like, and I'm not able to get to them on their end and fly out every single time that I would like. So it's on both ends, like I said, life is life, and people are busy. We're all busy. We're all still figuring things out. Some people that I know are parents. Some people are parents and married now. So everybody just be doing their own thing, and I appreciate and respect that and love that for all of us. It's no hard feelings, but again, reeling it back in, that's why I'm always solo dolo, and that's okay for me, and it's okay. But yeah, it's not that I can't keep friendships or anything. It's just that the ones that I have are long distance. So that's what it is. Like, the only time I'll be able to link up with them is if we're flying to see each other. And that's very rare. It's very rare. But it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Nothing changes. When we do link up, it's like not a day has passed. It's like time has not passed at all. We pick right back up where we started, where we left off. And it's the best thing ever. I'm like, thank y'all for letting me know y'all came out, like y'all flew out. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for always welcoming me into your space to be a part of, the event and what's going on. So I appreciate that. And I always appreciate people for thinking of me in that degree, or to that degree. And I'm just very thankful and grateful. And but yeah, so that's why I'm always by myself. That's why I tend to myself. Like I said, I don't have to worry about others when I'm just by myself. And and another reason too that really got me back into my shell of just being in my own space and protecting my own energy and my spirituality and all things that come with my godliness is, I'll go ahead and throw this out and then I'll wrap it up. I met somebody, maybe it was right before I moved to California. So I moved to California in 2023. I want to say earlier in 2023, earlier that year, probably like at the top of the year, maybe March of 2023. Not even March. It had to be in like February of 2023 because I moved to California in April of 2023. And I had met this person long before I moved to California. So I was at a networking event, y'all, right? And it had a lot of public figures there, right? A lot of people that are well known on Instagram, and just in that celebrity realm, right? It was a lot of people that attended, some that were most of them were millionaires or on their way headed to become millionaires, and they were just giving away the game, right? They were giving away free game, putting people on to let them know how they can become millionaires themselves. And so I went to that networking event by myself, just trying to get back out there again after the passing of my best friend. And so I went out there, put myself out there, showed up, was dressed very nice, and just wanted to hear what they had to say, wanted to hear the advice that they could give, take advantage of the opportunity in all the ways possible, right? So I went there. Towards the end of the event, another girl, she came there by herself too, and she noticed like the way that some of these people were dressed, was not the best. And I'm just like, unfortunately, of course, it was us. And I'm just like, yeah, I was looking at them and I was just like, not passing judgment, but I was just like, yeah, they are not dressed the best. This is not the best way to present yourself in front of like millionaires who look like you. And so she saw me And it was so funny because after we got to talking and we got well acquainted with one another, she was telling me how she ended up gravitating to me more than anyone else on the scene because of how I was dressed and how she felt like I carried myself. She was like, girl, some of these people here, she was like, I can't relate to. She was like, but then I saw you and I was like, okay, I have to go meet her because your dress is bomb, first of all. And she's like, and I just wanted to, she's like, I came by myself and I noticed that you seemed like you were here by yourself. So I wanted to kind of like talk to you or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So we met, talked, and seemed like we had known each other forever. We like clicked right away, instantly. And so she was telling me how as the end of the night started to approach, she was like, hey, do you want to come with me to one of my homegirls' events? She's having an event at this club or whatever. And she was like, you're more than welcome to come. I'm sure she wouldn't mind like me bringing an extra person. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. I was like, just let me know. She was like, okay. She's like, I'm about to drive to the venue now, and then I'll let you know how parking and everything is. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm going to walk to my car, and I'm probably going to go home and change. I didn't live too far from the place where we were at. So I was like, I'll probably go home and change and then meet you there. And she's like, okay, bet. So... So we go, I go get ready to go home. And then she was like, girl, don't even worry about going home and changing because first of all, they're charging $40 for parking. That's one reason why I stopped going to clubs because I'm like, this is insane. This is highway robbery. Y'all are out y'all rabbit minds, $40 for parking. I can park at my house for free. I can get the drink that I want, a big bottle for $20, which y'all going to try to upcharge for $150 just because you feel like you can to keep the lights on. No. So it's a whole bunch of political and money hungry people, all that kind of stuff that played in part as to why I wanted to stop clubbing. On top of it's just not a good look for me to be representing God and talking about God and then being off in somebody's clubs, right? So I was kind of falling back from all of that for multiple reasons. So she's like, yeah, girl, don't waste your time. She was like, I'm leaving. How about we go to a restaurant and eat? And I was like, okay, sure. So we end up going to Nobu, and the tab, oh my gosh, it was just us two. And the tab, the time we spent talking and eating and ordering drinks, honey, that tab came out to $200 and something. And she offered to pay for the whole tab. And I was just like, to me, that was already like a sign to me that something was iffy with this person, right? Something was iffy with this girl. Because I'm like, I hope she don't think I go that way. And just to make it clear, I'm not going to let her pay for no $200 something tab. Absolutely not. Whether she was being genuine in doing that or not, I don't know. I would never know. Because at the end of the day, I paid for my half. I went ahead and chalked it up and paid that $100 something because you ain't finna get your girl. We don't go like that. Okay. Ain't no scissoring over here. Okay. So that happened. And then the very next day, she was like, hey, you want to go to a spa, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's cool. We can go ahead and go. That's fine. Cause I wasn't working at the time. So I was free and I was available and I was just like, okay, I can go ahead and go. I did tell her even then, I was like, hey, I'm not working at this time. I am receiving unemployment and I need to manage my money as best as I can. And even then she was like, it's okay. I'll go ahead and pay for your portion at the spa. And I was like, okay. So I did let her go ahead and pay for that portion because she was like, I have a discount, blah, blah. And I'll just use that to contribute to your half of like your portion of whatever's going to cost at the spa. So I was like, okay. So we went to the spa the very next day after we met or whatever and went to the spa, linked up with her. Y'all, why did I get to the spa, bro? Why did I get to the spa and walk in on naked women? When I say my jaw was like this, she looked over at me and started laughing. And I didn't find anything funny. Because when you think of spa, anytime you hear the word spa, what do you think? You're getting your nails done. You're about to get your eyebrows waxed. You may get waxes in other areas with natural ingredients. You may get your feet done, sit there and get a pedicure and get pampered. That's what you think of naturally, right? When you hear spa. So that's what I'm thinking I'm walking into. No, baby. That girl, that wasn't that type of spa. It was y'all, there was no nail site in sight. Okay. There was no nail place in sight. There was no pedicure, put your foot and let it soak in sight. There were no drink menus to order your drink while you're getting pampered in sight. Y'all, this was a spa where you went to get in tubs. like they were mini pools. They had 3 different pools, y'all. They had 3 different pools, and that's what they were for. And you have to take off all your clothes to soak in the pools. They had 2 warm pools and then 1 ice cold pool. Say what now? Say, huh? Say who? Say why? Yeah. My heart is like pounding now because I'm like, that was not okay. Like, I did not know that was the type of spot it was going to be. And so I still enjoyed my time there because they had other little things that you can go into. Like, they had this, it was like an igloo shaped, and it was made out of, I forget what it was made out of, but they had like this igloo shaped thing, and it was like a health spa. Really, it was a health spa. And so you go inside this igloo shaped thing, and it was heated. And it was heated, and you had to change into your clothes and stuff like that. Like, they make you put on these uniform type clothes. Everything was brown, so everybody had only these brown tops and these brown shorts. And then you go from it was like stations to stations. And so we went inside the heated one, and what it does is anyone that's dealing with type of inflammation and oh my goodness, I recorded it, but it was like anybody that was dealing with blood flow and stuff like that. You go in there and you can sit in there for however long you feel the need to do so, to get your blood back right and stuff like that. And then you go to another room. They had another like indoor pool, but you can keep your clothes on. And that was something where you just put your feet in, and then you just kind of chilled and relaxed. And it was very like, the aura was very meditational. Somewhere like where you can meditate, just close your eyes, put your feet in there, and just kind of like be zen, right? And then there was another room where they had chairs, and they had the ceiling painted like skies, and then they had the music flowing like very, again, yoga type music, meditation style type of music, right? And then they had these little chairs in there, and then you can just lean back in the chairs and just kind of be at one, right? So they had those little things, and that's what I did. But y'all, why in the process, I think the environment itself was just like not where I was supposed to be. And oh my goodness, I'm about to cry. I'm not gonna cry, not on camera anyways. But remember, I don't know, a long time ago, if y'all noticed that ring that I had from my dad bought me that ring in 2005. I never lost it, never took it off. I took it off one time in my life in college, and I was so tired, I had accidentally put it in my jewelry box, which I never in my life did. Like I said, never in my life had I ever taken that ring off. And I took it off one time in college by accident. I was tired, and I was just taking off my jewelry, and I put it in my jewelry box, and I was crying, like bawling, because I couldn't find it. I didn't know where I had placed it. And I called my homeboy, and I was just like, he was like, what's wrong? I was like, I can't find my ring. My dad bought me. I can't find it, because I'm very sentimental, and I cherish things so deeply, and I value things so deeply when they're given to me from the heart and out of pureness, right? And so I was like so heartbroken, and then I ended up finding it in my jewelry box. He was like, okay, just backtrack and look everywhere you could possibly look, Jazz, like calm down, because he knew how special that ring was to me. So he's like, calm down, Jazz, go ahead and look in your jewelry box. So I looked and I found it. I was like, Lord Jesus, thank you for this man that's on his phone who calmed me down and who told me to look like everywhere in my room to see if I can find it, because I found it, and I never took it back off. So when I went there to the spa, y'all, I ended up taking it off because one of the black ladies who was in there with one of her friends, they were just like, it was some black ladies and it was some Asian girls, and they were like, y'all may want to take off your jewelry, because the girl I was with, she had on a gold necklace, and I had on the ring my dad had given me. And you know, when it comes to heat, your fingers swell up. And so they're like, you may want to take off your ring, because if your fingers swell up because of the heat that's like caught up in here, it may be hard for you to get off. And I don't want you to freak out. Like they were saying, they didn't want us to freak out if our jewelry like burned up, or if our fingers swelled, my fingers swelled in particular, and I couldn't get the ring off. So I took it off and put it in the shorts that I had. Y'all, why did I lose my ring? My ring, I left them in the shorts, and they washed their uniforms every night. I left them in my shorts. When I got home, I was like, something feels off. Like I'm looking all over my hands and stuff, and I'm like, my freaking ring is not on my freaking fingers. Of course, it was another use of language at that time. My effing ring is not on my effing finger. So I was just like freaking out, y'all. I woke up, I researched and saw what time the spa opened. The next day, I went back there, drove back there, and was trying like to search for my ring. And they brought out this whole box of like people who left rings and left jewelry behind and stuff, because it's a high and tell type of spot. Like, this is where people who just have money on their breaks, they'll just come there and have a spa day and blow $300 in one day just for that spa. So it's not no hole in the wall type spa, but it still doesn't mean that it was a spa for me to be at. And so I went back there. I looked through every gold ring those people had, y'all. All kind of jewelry these people had that was real stone, real diamond. And that's how you know it's people go there with money, because why didn't y'all come back for this stuff? It was just like, that's like a drop in a hat for them to go and get something, go and buy another one with no remorse, right? So I went and searched for that ring the next day, y'all. They did not have it. To this day, my heart is like broken because of that. And my parents, if they see this, they probably gonna shake their head. They don't even know that the ring is gone, because they just so used to me having it on. And all this time, I don't think they even realize, because I have these rings. So I think it kind of has been distracting them from my main ring that my dad bought me. I never found the ring, y'all. I never found the ring. And I end up blocking the girl. I end up calling my good home girl out in Georgia, the one who lives in Georgia. And I was just like, I lost my ring. I was at this spa. I don't think like I was supposed to be there. And she was trying to console me and try to make it sound good so I wouldn't be so hard on myself for being in that environment. But point is, I shouldn't have been there. And so, yeah, I ended up blocking the girl, because I was like, and then even the conversation we were having, she was asking me like, it was just very weird and very awkward, because they had like a food court inside of that spa. And we would sit there and ate or whatever. And she just started talking about like, what do you think the fruit was for the serpent and all this kind of stuff, like going into biblical conversation. And I'm like, first of all, girl, you got me at this spa. That's not the spa in my head. I'm like, you got me at this motherfreaking spa. That's not the spa I intended at all. You didn't warn me like what I was walking into. So what really is your motive? What really was your intention? Like, to see my body? And what do you need to see that for? Like, to see if I look better than you, if I'm in competition. Like, it was just very weird, and her aura started to like throw me off and sway me to the left. So I was just like, yeah, no. So again, we're talking, and she's like, yeah, so what do you think about the fruit? Do you think blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, most people say it was a fig. Most people say it was an apple. I don't really know what it is. But if I'm going to lean on anything, I would actually agree that it was a fig rather than an apple. And she was like, well, I think it was a penis. And this is the black girl. But I was just like, yeah. So I talked to her the next day, and the next day after we talked on the phone, I was like, I gotta block her. And I blocked that girl. Haven't talked to her, seen her since. And in that April, the following month, I ended up moving to California. I'm like, yeah, not for me. So yeah, from that day forward, that's when what really kind of put me back in my shell, was really like, I really have to guard myself. Like, I really have to protect myself. I really have to protect my energy and my spirituality, because not everyone can be in your space, and not everyone is going to be receptive of that. Not everyone is going to respect your space and take you into consideration and have you at the best of interest. Because yeah, when she didn't warn me of that, I was just like, that was a complete red flag. I'm like, I don't know what this girl's motives are. I don't know what her intentions are, but you got me messed up. Like, she was cool. It was all good and dandy. But when she did that, I was like, no. I ended up telling my mama about it and everything. I was just like, no, sister girl, we can't have that. But yeah, so that's really too where I'm to myself, because it's just like, who do you trust? Like, I don't have time for that. It takes too much of my good energy to be constantly thinking about what this person's intentions are, what their motives are. I don't have time. I don't have the energy, and I don't care to have the time or the energy for stuff like that. Like, I would rather just stay to myself and be around my family, who I know have me at the best of interest, who I know are not going to play games with me, who I know are just going to be 100, 1,000, okay? And not on some weird-ish, like, ugh. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was talking about that with my mama the other day. I was like, girl, remember when that girl tried to take me to that spa and she didn't even tell me what I was walking into, because she knew. She probably could read me and probably knew I was going to say no. If she would have told me what type of spa I was actually running into, I was going to say no. And she didn't want that to happen. I was like, I had so many questions in my head. Like, why didn't you want that to happen? Why didn't you want me? Why did you not let me make this decision on my own to say yay or nay based on the background of this type of spa? I'm a forgiving person, so I forgive her. But I don't forget that situation, because that just put me, I was very uneasy. Like, and I lost my mother effing ring in the mother freaking effing process. Oh my effing gosh. I want to curse so bad right now, y'all. I want to curse so mother bad. But calm down, Jasmine. Calm down, Miss Ivory. Oh! That made me so mad, though, y'all. Like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, I'm just very protective of myself and who I'm around. And I definitely don't ever want to experience that again. So I'm okay with being by myself. And that's the moral of the story. That's the backdrop. That's all of it. And yeah, that's about it. It's so many woohoos out here in this world. Like, folks need help. We all need help. But some folks need extra special attention. Extra help. Because, yeah, I don't be rocking with it. I don't be rocking with it. But all right, y'all, let me get off this video. Oh, y'all, I feel like this is the shortest video I have done in a while. I'm proud of myself. I'm getting there. But okay, y'all. Love y'all. Mean it. Talk to y'all. Until next time. Let me go here, honey. I got to wash. I got to do everything to prepare for this trip, and it's tomorrow. My daddy told me to pack yesterday, as a matter of fact. He said, you rolling with me and you leaving out here on Monday with me, you need to pack today, because I know y'all. I know you and your mama. And did we do it? No. So let me get in here. I got to wash and stuff. Yeah. Let me get off this thing. Pardon me. Let me get off this thing. Love y'all. Mean it. Till next time. Talk to y'all later. Oh, it's some folks out here in this world. I just in disbelief. Why did I even decide to tell that story? Because it's important. Somebody else may need to hear it and know it and learn from my mistake of being someplace. Research where y'all go before y'all go. Ask them, where am I going? And research it so you can know. But even then, I still wouldn't have known, because I went back and researched it after the fact, and they still didn't show. They're not going to publicize a naked picture of women. They're not going to do it. And none of that was shown on their website. So I still wouldn't have known. I still would have been blindsided. So, yeah, but still, if you can, research places before you go and really see about it. And if you get there and it's not what you want, go ahead and leave. I was like in shock and I was embarrassed, but then I didn't want to make it so noticeable, which is why I stayed. But honey, never again, never ever again. I will politely walk up out of that establishment if it is not suitable and in alignment with my righteousness and with my relationship with Christ. You got me messed up. Absolutely no. And who I am as a person and my identity and my reputation. No. If it's not in alignment with any of those things, I'm out the door, and I don't care how anybody else feels about it. Because clearly nobody cared about how I felt about it. And my outlook and my point of view on it. So no, I'm sparing no feelings when it comes to that. But okay, y'all, let me go ahead and get up off here for real. Love y'all, mean it. Deuces, happy holidays, be safe, drive responsibly, spend a night at somebody's house if y'all are going to be drinking and having Friendsgiving, or even at your family's house, spend a night. But yeah, don't be drinking and driving on these roads. So many people have been getting killed. I'm so sick and tired of seeing that. And then some people are ignorant enough to be drinking and driving and racing all in one. So just be careful, be vigilant, be cautious, and be safe. Love y'all, and bye.